F. Scott Fitzgerald wrote The Great Gatsby as a dire warning about the selfishness and unsustainability of the 1920s lifestyle, and in many ways, that warning is just as relevant today. People acted without empathy towards each other and were out for their own interest. This is seen in the Valley of Ashes, where the poor live in shambles not far from where the rich party and live recklessly. The rich use the poor to get richer while leaving the poor to starve. In The Great Gatsby, the person whose life is most destroyed by the 1920s lifestyle is the lowly mechanic, Wilson. His wife is used by a rich man as a cheap thrill and eventually killed by another rich person, leading him to commit murder and then suicide. Today, the rich also continue to get richer without regard for human life or our planet.
The rich in The Great Gatsby did not care about the future. They only lived in the moment and were entirely focused on themselves. This is seen when Daisy does not leave Tom for Gatsby. She's only concerned about her own life, so while she might like Gatsby, she can't leave the Buchanan name and her wealth. Today the rich only have concern for themselves and live in the present. Tons of carbon dioxide is constantly released from factories. Wildlife habitat is always being encroached upon by suburban developments, and wildlife species are going extinct every day. The wealthy are behind many of these developments. They make these factories incredibly cheap that harm the environment but allow them to make the most profit possible, only to amass their already incredibly enormous wealth.
We see these billionaires today with enough money to practically get away with anything. When rising sea levels flood over the cities, the rich will be able to adapt just fine with their fortunes. It is the poor that will be left in the path of the wealthy's destruction. Jeff Bezos is a prime example of this self-serving worldview. Workers slave for hours in warehouses in poor conditions, making $15 an hour, while he now has a net worth of $109 billion. The rich do not care about the poor, even though they amass their fortunes on their backs. The president, an egotistical billionaire, has lowered taxes for the top earners while our national debt rises. This is self-centered economic mindset will cause the next Great Depression, which will be a minor inconvenience to the people who caused it. The lower classes will be devastated, and there will be nothing that they can do.
Fitzgerald warned of this using Tom and Daisy, who did not have to face the consequences of their actions because of their position and wealth. The country will prosper most when the rich pay their fair share, which can allow for programs such as universal health care and free education, which can help lift everyone up, not just the rich. The Great Gatsby is a cautionary tale. The parties and glamour seem fun, but when it is time to face the music, everyday people will suffer.